Okay, so yesterday I uploaded a video about the new FC25 patch and my thoughts, and it got a lot of engagement, a lot of discussion in the comments. We're going to be responding to some people that think FC25 or seem to think FC25 is actually decent and that I'm wrong about it. And it's just a discussion, really. You guys can leave your comments on your thoughts on their comments and my comments that I'm adding down below in the comment section. And yeah, if you enjoy this style of video, do leave a like for me, subscribe for more, and let's get into it. If you need the cheapest FC25 coins to build your super team, then check out MMOEXP by clicking the link down below and use code JambooUK for 5% off. Okay, so the first comment says, okay, so you're one of those players urging for the game to just be an arcade fest. You guys aren't helping the development of the game at all. So firstly, I am not the one developing the game. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't understand how anybody can play this current game and have a go at people or disagree that people want this to be more arcadey. You're going to see a lot more comments, about it being like real football and stuff, which absolutely blows my mind. But to sit there and say that an FC YouTuber is not helping the development of the game. Like, all we're doing is suggesting how it can be better than what it currently is. Like, what it currently is, in my opinion, is a disgrace. So if I was part of the development, like, obviously I can't code games and stuff, right? But if I had some sort of input, I guarantee that you would enjoy and the community would enjoy this game better. There is absolutely zero doubt in my mind at all. EA doesn't care about serious trouble. They care about people like you continuing to make videos about their games. You are keeping this game alive. I am definitely not keeping this game alive. My video that has 25,000 views yesterday, which is fantastic by the way, is a drop in the ocean compared to the whole player base and people that have made purchases to this game. I would actually argue that they don't care about people like me making videos, because my video is not going to change anything. They're not going to, anything I said in my video yesterday is not going to be taken on board by EA. So it's actually the opposite. They don't care about people like me making videos. And me making a video expressing my feeling as to how I think this game is in a really bad place is definitely not keeping the game alive. People could argue in some way, even though I disagree, that I'm actually contributing to the negativity, which I don't think is true, but I can see how people would see it that way. So me making some sort of rant video is the complete opposite of me keeping this game alive. Isn't defensive heavy gameplay what real football's like? Has a Premier League or La Liga match had a 10-9 result? Why do 10 plus goals per game need to be scored for it to be good gameplay? These comments are the ones that I just feel this just can't be real. It just can't be real. Like, the game we're playing is a video game, okay? This is not real football. In real football, every player on the pitch is controlling themselves and they're working as a unit in a team. There is such a big difference between that in a 90-minute match and us playing 6-minute halves where 10 of the 11 players on each team at all times are being controlled by AI. Like, it's just not comparable to real football in any way, shape or form. The only thing that has anything to do with real football in this game is the fact that it's in some way trying to imitate real football. We're playing a football simulator, arcade game, whatever you want to call it, but this is not real football in any way. Hardcore players are upset because regular casual players can now beat them on an even field. Elite players are so upset, casual players can now enjoy the gamer. I mean, this just cannot be real. This is not a real person. Like, the fact you have just described, the fact that the hardcore players are now getting beat by casuals is actually everything wrong with this game. The skill gap has never been lower, unless you're somebody that's actually sat there as a casual and you are happy that the game's holding your hand and helping you beat people that have more skill. Like, if that is you and you own it, I mean, fair enough, I guess. But I mean, he's put my point for me. Like, the fact that a casual player is able to beat somebody who's much better than them, that is an issue with the game. That is not a positive. It might be what EA want to do here. It is not a positive for the game in any way. Of course, elite players are upset because if you've put years and years of practice into any craft and then suddenly a new version of it comes out that is helping people with a lower level compete against you and ultimately beat you in games, I mean, it's not fair, right? I mean, the casual might argue it's more fair for them, but no, it's not fair. Like, any low skill gap where you're able to rig somebody that's of a higher skill level, like, at least in my eyes, that is a massive issue, like in any game. A 100% increase to game speed. Do you want to play ping pong or football? I think the game speed has been the best it's ever been. Real life games are hard to break teams down. You don't get 10-0 games in real life like you always have in FIFA. Sounds like you want an arcade game, and finally EA have given us a more true to life game. Brother, there is not a single world in this universe where this is a true to life game, for one. That's the first point. The game speed, I mean, there is a reason that this is universally like the worst rated FIFA game of all time, because it's boring to play. This continuous argument of like real life games, it just doesn't work. When you're playing 6-minute halves versus 90 minutes, the game speed needs to reflect the fact that you're playing so much less time. Like, it needs to be sped up. That's just for the time aspect. And it's also the fact that it's a video game. I think these people forget that when you watch a real football match, like I've watched football my whole life, believe it or not. Like, some of these guys seem to think that I don't have the slightest clue about football. The majority of a football game, unless you're like heavily invested in the team or whatever, if you're like watching as a neutral, a football game is actually boring for the most part. Obviously, you have the goals, which are not boring, but the general play of a football game, there is a lot of boring moments. That's just the way it is. You're waiting for those moments in a game to get excited. So that is not why people jump on a video game. You jump on a video game to be entertained. Like, nobody wants to sit there and have the same game speed in a 12-minute game of FIFA as what they have in a 90-minute game of real football. Like, these comments honestly go over my head. Like, you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments, but I cannot wrap my head around like this thinking at all. The slower the game speed, the lower the skill gap. And in my opinion, at least, the slower the game speed, just the more boring, naturally. Like, there's less happening. It's harder to make things happen. It's slower. Just not as fun to play. Why is this guy obsessed with it being so fast? It used to be so fast, no one could properly control anything, and it was just a reaction fest, not a skill fest. It needs to be more responsive, yes, but faster, no. I don't know what this guy's talking about. FIFA has never, ever, ever been a game where it's a reaction fest. There has not been a single FIFA game ever where reaction speed has been important. I've competed as a pro player 5 years ago. Never ever in a million years has FIFA been a reaction based game. You could play this game at a high level when you're 60 years old and your reactions are gone. It's just the way it is. It's the way it always has been. This year, yes, like, it's even slower and stuff than normal. It has never been a reaction fest where people cannot control what's going on. You might be getting outplayed because the game speed was quicker back in the day, and now you're not getting outplayed because the gameplay is slower and the AI is holding your hand. But no, like, I promise you, FIFA has never been a reaction-based game. I don't think it can be, naturally. Just the aspect of it, so much AI involved. This isn't Rocket League or something like that, or Call of Duty where you need quick reactions. Never has been, never will be. Too slow? Pace increased? Really? Really? Yeah, really. I mean, I tip my hat to anybody that can sit here with the current game speed and actually enjoy it. I mean, I'm getting on. Like, I'm an old man now, right? So you would think that this slow game speed, like, maybe I'd enjoy it more. I really don't. I want a game that's fun and responsive to play. When I'm having to do everything at snail pace and it feels as unrewarding as it does, like, yes, I think the game's too slow. Yes, I think the pace needs to be increased. Really? Yes. I'm serious. Manual defending is good this year, so stop bitching about defending. What? This guy can't be playing the same game as me. I see my opponent with 11 players, AI defending, sat behind the ball, and then when I step in and make a manual tackle, the ball ends up bouncing back to them, sometimes even playing them in on... Like, what are we talking about here? Like, a literal way to defend in this game is to not touch your centre-backs, use AI press tactics, second-man press, like... Obviously, there's things you have to do in this game manually, right? But this game is so assisted in every way that there is no argument. Like, manual defending it is not good. Like, not to the point it should be. Like, if you go and play on old gen, which, by the way, is still not a great game, but it's better than the new gen version, you'll start seeing some actual manual defending. And, like, in the nicest possible way, I feel like so many of the people that argue about how the defending and AI on this version is fine, like, if you go over to old gen, like, you will get ripped apart because you're going to quickly find out that the gameplay on old gen is not holding your hand and doing things for you like it does on new gen. To say that manual defending is good on this year's game is crazy to me. You want an arcade, not a sim, which is entirely fine. There's nothing terribly wrong with the game, bar a few bugs here and there, which have hopefully been fixed. The gameplay is almost true to life. There's no need complaining and bashing the game just because it's not to your taste. I mean, this game is barely to anyone's taste. That's the first point. I don't necessarily want an arcade game. Do I want it to be more arcade than it is now? Yes. Next point, there's nothing terribly wrong with the game, bar a few bugs here and there. I mean, we're not playing the same game, brother. Like, if there's nothing terribly wrong with this, bar just a few bugs, and then we go on to say, which have hopefully been fixed, we're now 3 major patches deep. And barely anything, if anything, has changed at all. Like, I wish that I had the optimism that some of these guys have. I mean, after what we've seen, like, for the launch of FC25, I've lost all hope, you know, that things are going to be fixed. And it's just, to say there's nothing terribly wrong with this game, I'd be genuinely interested, and this is not a dig in any way. Like, please leave a comment on this video and let me know, like, what division you play in. And the reason I say that is because the higher level you play on this game, the more you find and notice these really broken things. If you're playing in Div 10, and again, this is not a dig, like, you are not going to see the game-breaking issues that you're going to see in the Elite Division. That is just the way it is. So, if you are someone who enjoys this game, and you're actually playing at a high level, please let me know in the comments and let me know your reasons, because I'd be very interested to know, like, what you enjoy about this currently, because I've been very open and honest about my thoughts on the game. I've been playing this since like 2009, maybe even earlier, and this is my least favourite game ever. I feel it's the most unrewarding, slow, unresponsive game. And yeah, man, it's tiring. Like, we all want a better game. Hopefully it will come soon. I'm going to wrap up the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you got this far. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed this style. Something a bit different. And peace.